Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
The truth shall set you free.
You can't handle the truth.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
That's not how the Force works. Oh, really? You're cold?
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
I'd buy that for $1.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Hasta la vista, baby.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
I can do this all day.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Hello and welcome to the Greasy Control Movie Podcast, and you have joined us for episode 32. So in this episode, we are discussing all the films that we've seen in February. I think this is going to be a fairly short episode because there was not a lot released in February. So we'll just kind of talk about what we've seen, give our thoughts and opinions and reviews and ratings on them. Maybe we'll talk about some TV shows that we've seen as well. So joining me on today's episode, we have Neil, Lee, and Alex. How you guys doing?
Very good, man. Very good.
Very well, thank you.
Good. Fresh off the Batman review. So if you have seen the Batman, go check that episode out where we go into an in-depth discussion, really in-depth, it's about an hour, about the Batman, our likes, our dislikes, and our ratings for that. But right, so let's crack on. Let's talk about what we saw in February. I suppose the big movie that was released. Oh, someone's dog's not happy.
That's my that's my dog.
It was like you mentioned Batman one too many times. He was
He's like, guys, still talking about Batman enough.
It's bad that he's the guard. He's guarding the house, so he's my little Batman.
He's vengeance. Right, so the big movie released in February was, I suppose, Uncharted. So Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, a movie adaptation of the popular game franchise. So yeah, this was one of my very few trips to the cinema in February, I think, and maybe I only went twice. But yeah, so this was the big one. First thoughts right off the bat was I thought it was quite enjoyable. I've played a bit of the game, like the first game, so I know the premise and kind of what it's about. I'm familiar with some of the characters, but I'm not sort of like this guy who's played all the games and knows all the set pieces and all that kind of stuff. So as a casual person who's aware of the franchise, I enjoyed it. I think, Tom Holland was solid. However, I did feel he was very Peter Parker-ish. So I don't know if it's him being Peter Parker or if that's just very Tom Holland. Because maybe Peter Parker is Tom Holland. I think, maybe he's just playing him very similar to who he is. So there was a little bit of a feeling with that. But Wahlberg, he's serviceable, but he's not somebody that I would have necessarily cast in this. However, he is a name that does draw box office in the States, and they do enjoy his movies. So I understand why they did cast him, but he wasn't the right choice for me. But yeah, it kind of took me a little bit back to sort of like Pirates of the Caribbean, kind of swashbuckling type, adventures. It's not as good as sort of like National Treasure, in my opinion, but, it's kind of in the same vein. And yeah, it did a job, and you can see they want to set it up as a franchise. Set up as a sequel. There was at least a mid-credit scene, but maybe there was a very end-credit scene as well. But they kind of set that up for the sequel. And Sully gets his tash right at the end. But yeah, I think this was just fairly average movie. Enjoyable, some good laughs in it, a few nice twists and turns, and I think I gave it sort of like a 7 out of 10. So, what did you guys think?
I pretty much agree.
Or maybe a 6.5. Probably a 6.5.
I gave it a 6.5. It was it was an enjoyable movie. I think I unfortunately was too kind of a bit too immersed in the world of Uncharted before I saw the film.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that, I'd seen the short film with Nathan Fillion. Is that him?
That's great.
Yeah, I'd seen that, which is brilliant. And I've played like a small demo of Uncharted 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd seen the character, and it was like, even when Tom Holland was cast, I was like, he's a bit young, isn't he? And then when he got cast, and then when Mark Wahlberg got cast, before I knew who they were playing, or I knew that Holland was playing Nathan Drake. So I was like, oh, okay, are they doing like a he's like Tom Holland when he's young, and then he grows into Mark Wahlberg.
Tomorrow, right?
You know?
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh, maybe that's what's going to happen. And then, oh no, Mark Wahlberg's playing Sully, and I was like, okay, this is going to piss off a lot of gamers. But,
Yeah.
you know, it from my limited knowledge of Uncharted, I really enjoyed the film. But even that, I totally agree with you, Ken. There were certain things that he did in the movie, like when he was chasing the girl on the rooftops, and I was like, I bet you missed them web shooters now, innit?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was the first thing that went through my head. So I think they did cast him based on his physical attributes more than his ability to accurately play the character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Lee, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with what you just said, Neil. I think, and you can, they've casted it, I think, to try and, for the box office, really, to bring the gamers just isn't enough. They need to try and sell it more and, like I say, make it into a franchise. So that's why they've gone down that route. But yeah, unfortunately, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge gamer, but I have played some of the games, and what I got from the character isn't Tom Holland, and Sully is not Mark Wahlberg. So with that in my head, it was very difficult to try. But if you see the film, and you don't know about the game and it is fresh, then I'm sure, it's really entertaining. Which it was entertaining. But I just say it's just those sort of things niggled. I think Tom Holland, I don't know whether he was sort of involved at the same time that he was doing No Way Home, but there was just some of the lines that he said in the film. It was just so Peter Parker, and so that kind of. And then you think, well, what they're trying to do and accomplish, and also Mark Wahlberg, he's got that very strong Boston accent, and you just think, I just can't see these two being involved in this, But no, it was an entertaining film, and it'd be interesting to see where they go next with it.
Cool. Alex, did you get a chance to see it?
No, not a gamer, so never played any games, so didn't really even have any interest, to be honest, to see this film. When it comes out on streaming or whatever, maybe I'll check it out. But otherwise, it didn't really interest me, to be fair. So I wasn't rushing out to go and see it.
I think that basically it's a Sony studio movie. So they knew Holland's contract was coming to an end with No Way Home. I think they very much wanted to keep him in studio. So they put this out to him to say, look, this is another franchise that we're wanting you to lead and take on. So from his point of view, there was no reason not to take it. I personally wouldn't have gone as young as Tom Holland. I would have gone someone, even maybe like a Bradley Cooper or something. Not Chris Pratt because he's in everything, but it's just, but something more along those lines. Someone who's a little bit older, a little bit more established. I think that would have made fun. But they're going after that Spider-Man money. They wanted their younger audience. Tom Holland's got a huge fan base, so I think they were obviously, like Lisa, they were going for that money, not the gamers' money. As much as there's many players of that game, that's not the audience that they were going for. And in the States, it's done about just over 92 million. It's done 235 million worldwide. So it's not, it's done fairly decent figures, and it'll warrant probably enough for a sequel. But I would have thought Sony themselves would have been looking probably more like 150 million domestic, I think, for them to consider it a success based on probably its budget and stuff like that. So I just don't think it's performed as well as maybe what they were expecting. But I can definitely see a sequel on the cards, and like I said, it is what it is. So another movie that came out, and I had every intention of seeing it, but I just never actually got around to it, was Jackass Forever. Have any of you guys seen it?
No. never even watched the show or anything, mate. Again, it was just it's not my thing, man.
No, I mean, I kind of enjoyed the show when I was younger, and I'd have seen the movies, and this was kind of very much like a throwback thing. It was just like, I think it just might be fun to watch, but I never got to see it. So, okay, fine. So no one's seen it, so we'll move on. Death on the Nile. So this was released, follow up, another Agatha Christie novel. And this was a tricky one because I don't know how much maybe it might have been edited or changed after the fact that Armie Hammer's in it. and he's had a lot of fallout on social media and stuff like that, stuff that's going on in his personal life, and I'm wondering if that has had anything to do with it. But I didn't see the first movie. Was it The Orient Express?
Yeah.
Express. So I didn't see that. I had no inclination to see this one again. But have any of you guys seen this?
No.
No.
You know what?
Again, I didn't see the first one either, so it was just kind of like, I don't know. Maybe Knives Out might have ruined that sort of detective thing for me, because I thought Knives Out was so good that it was just kind of like, nothing else really in that sort of vein piqued my interest, to be fair.
Yeah, I did kind of want to see it, but I think the first couple of reviews came out, and because obviously it's been so heavily delayed due to COVID and then due to the Army Hammer madness. But it was like all of that stuff happens, and when the reviews came out and they were like, this was not worth the wait, I was like, I'm good. Yeah.
It only did 35 million domestic in the US, 68 international, so 103.5 million worldwide. So not the numbers, but isn't it on Disney Plus soon, or is it on Disney?
It's not on Disney Plus yet, but I was under the impression, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this will be on Disney Plus, so like I'll watch it when it gets there. But the Orient Express isn't on Disney Plus at the minute.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I'm like,
okay.
Like, what? Why am I like? I want to see the first one.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, because
that was quite a while ago, 2017. Murder on the Orient Express. So, okay.
And the disrespect is like, flipping. West Side Story is on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
And Orient Express isn't. I was like, yeah, you look like.
So maybe it's just a time factor. It's probably a time factor because West Side Story came out in December. So that was like almost like a 3-month gap before it hit Disney Plus. So previously they said there was going to be sort of like a specific window, at least a 45-day window from cinema release to Disney Plus releases. But I think it just depends on the movie. Okay, fair enough. So another film none of us have seen. This is a movie that I've downloaded, but again, not watched yet. We're doing great on the reviews here. Cyrano, which is Peter Dinklage, Bergerac kind of thing. Cyrano Bergerac. Has anyone seen this?
No.
No.
I do because it just seems really interesting.
Okay, so they were all the big cinema releases, and we all saw one. Alex didn't see any of them. Another movie which I watched was Last Looks. So this is a Charlie Hunnam movie. It's I can't even remember where I see it, but I just remember downloading it because it had Charlie Hunnam in it, and it had Mel Gibson and stuff like that.
Was that he's like a private detective or something? I've seen a trailer.
Yeah,
I think I saw a trailer for it or something. Yeah, it looked quite interesting.
It's a bizarre little film. So Charlie Hunnam's like this old cop who's basically hired to prove that this Hollywood star didn't kill his wife, kind of thing. And it's a bizarre little film. I suppose it is very much trying to be a comedy. Not exactly sure probably how you compare it, but I would actually just watch this purely for Mel Gibson's performance in this. He's basically playing this British actor who is got a show where he's a judge, like a Judge Judy kind of thing. And he's basically a drunk, and he's being looks like he potentially killed his wife, but he's so drunk that he doesn't know if he did it or not. And he is very funny in it. So I would say it's not a great movie. You're looking like a 5.5 out of 10, but it's a short movie. It's like an hour and 45 or something like that. But for Mel Gibson alone, he was really fun in it. Really fun in it. So, but yeah, so I watched that. But okay, so what have you guys watched in February? What have you been doing with yourselves?
I watched quite a few films and a few TV shows. Like, we mentioned Uncharted. I watched that, but I think a lot of the stuff I watched was all streaming. The only other 2 films that I saw in the cinema were Sing 2, which was brilliant.
I take it you took your nieces and nephews?
Yeah, I took my niece and nephew to see it, and
okay,
it was you know what? It was the best cinema experience I've ever had. But that's probably just because sitting next to my niece and watching her gradually get more and more from like kicking her feet when a song's on to like standing up and fully dancing when the film's on was brilliant. That was amazing. That made it the best. The film was okay. It was good. It's not a terrible film in the slightest. It is a very good film. I think I gave it a 7 out of 10.
All right, cool.
But it's like, it's just, a rehash of thing 1.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right. It's, but that's what I expected. So I wasn't disappointed, but I wasn't blown away.
But it was the audience participation that made it for you.
Yes.
So.
But the other film I watched was Marry Me.
Actually, I did watch that. Yeah.
Oh,
Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson. I really enjoyed that movie.
It's all right, actually.
Not
to be
bad
fair.
at all. And then I found out it's based on a flipping graphic novel comic book. I was like, huh?
Really?
Yeah, it's based on like a graphic novel comic book.
So if you haven't seen the trailer, basically Jennifer Lopez is this international singer. She's supposed to be getting married to her international singing boyfriend because they're releasing a song together called Marry Me. And then just as she's going on stage to do it in front of the world, she sees that he's cheated on her with her assistant. And then she picks Owen Wilson out of the crowd to say, I'll marry him instead, take a leap of faith. And it's about them falling in love. And then obviously there's complications, but then they somehow manage to resolve them and end up together. Spoilers. But yeah, actually, you know what? It was a street film. It wasn't too cheesy. It was just fun. It was a fine movie. It was decent. That's like a 6 out of 10 for what it was. But yeah, it was. It was fun. It was enjoyable. What else have you guys seen?
Yeah, I think for me,
the only thing I saw in the cinema was The Duke. I don't think it's been released like wide yet. Obviously, it was like it was the Cineworld like Unlimited, so like preview screening. So I'm not sure when it's actually like released. But a little British film. Jim Broadbent, Helen Mirren, sort of like based on a true story about a guy that steals a painting and basically holds it to ransom. And then returns it, and so gets caught because he returns it and ends up in prison. But yeah, it was an enjoyable, fun little sort of comedy drama.
The trailer. I think
we saw the trailer for something. It looked really funny and stuff. And I would say it was a bit more sort of dramatic than all out sort of laughs. But yeah, some good chuckles in there. Jim Broadbent's great as always. Helen Mirren playing something sort of like the downtrodden wife, which is not something you usually sort of see her play and that kind of stuff. And yeah, for what it was, it's an enjoyable little romp. So yeah,
is it the type of movie where you can see like BAFTA nominations or anything for next year? Or is it not that?
To be honest, when it comes to like award stuff, I'm not big into like BAFTAs, Oscars, that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I mean, they were good. They were good performances, but I'm not the sort of person that pays that much attention to that kind of thing to know like what else is out there to go against them and stuff, to know whether they would sort of warrant a nomination and stuff. But possibly.
Yeah, so it's out in the cinema now. So it released 25th of February. So I think you saw it like a week or two before it came out.
Yeah, I think it's like a couple of weeks before it came out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, and I'll get around to seeing it. But like for instance, today it's showing at South Rice. There's only one show at 1:20. Because the Batman's taken over. So it's going to be one of these we're going to have to catch on some platform afterwards. Okay. What would you have rated that movie?
I'd probably give it a good solid 7. Like I say, it didn't blow me away. It's typical sort of what you expect, kind of, I don't know if happy ending is the right sort of term, but obviously everything kind of gets resolved. And like that. I mean, to be honest, the fact that it was a true story was quite interesting because obviously I didn't know that it was, know the story per se. And there is kind of, I suppose, if you know the story, you probably would know that there's a little twist, but there is like a little sort of twist at the end, which was a little bit unexpected. But yeah, I would say a solid 7.
Cool.
Saturday afternoon, sort of chill out. Don't have to think too much kind of movie.
Yeah. Did anyone watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Netflix?
Not yet.
Not yet, no.
Yeah, again, not
I'm
had the
not really
inclination
much
to
of a
do
horror
it,
guy,
but
so it didn't really appeal to
I'm
me.
surprised by you, Neil, because you're a horror guy. So I would have thought you would watch that like first weekend.
I was planning to, but I was watching something else horror related, and what I was watching was a show. So I'll get into later on, but I was watching a show, and I was like, this movie or this show, and I was like, this movie gonna have to wait.
Okay.
Because I really like the show.
Yeah, I only really head to the cinema now for like sort of the big blockbuster films. Really, like some of the other films are just. I'm happy just to wait for them to come onto streaming services.
Oh no, it's on Netflix. Texas.
Okay.
Texas Chainsaw, yeah, it's a Netflix movie. So, okay, so Lee, what did you watch?
So I've not really been to the cinema apart from Uncharted, but I watched a film 13 Minutes on Netflix. It's about a tornado, basically the town preparing for a tornado. I mean, they kind of advertised it on Netflix, but to be honest, I couldn't see the point of the movie. Tornado movie's been done before. I didn't really get it. Was just them. Yeah, it's just a tornado that hit them, and then you obviously all these different characters, how it affected them differently. But it was, and then once the tornado.
Why is it called 13 minutes? Is it because that's how long the tornado lasts, or?
Yeah, that's it.
Right. Okay.
So it's Well, to be honest, it wasn't really my choice to watch it, but I wouldn't. To be honest, there wasn't really much about it. To be honest with you, it's got Amy Smart in it.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't really see the point of it. To be honest,
forgettable.
It didn't really have a different spin on it. I think it was trying to, sort of the after effects and the people that live in this town, and sort of, how obviously it's such a big deal. But again, I just don't understand why people live in those areas when they're like high for tornadoes, high chance of tornadoes, and yet they live in like wooden houses there and everything like that, and there's no proper protection and stuff like that. It just doesn't. The whole thing just doesn't really make sense to me. So I would sort of that would probably be a sort of 4 or 5 out of 10. Really. It's not
cool.
Great. I saw Fistful of Vengeance as well, which is kind of like it was a film.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw Wu Assassins.
Yeah.
On Netflix, which I enjoyed that series. I thought it was a good series, but they've really, the film was just. I don't know what was going on about. Have you guys seen it?
Not yet.
No.
Fistful of Vengeance.
Yeah. Again, I just it's got obviously martial arts in it, and there's some good fight scenes, choreography, but I just thought the whole storyline was just way out there. I'm not sure why they went for a sort of film instead of doing maybe a second series to Wu Assassins.
Right. I'm looking at the poster and it's quite fantastical. I think is probably what they were going for.
I'm not too
sure. Somebody do a Hadouken fireball in the advert.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on at the moment with Netflix, because they, some of these series that I watched, like the first seasons, are just incredible. Like they're really good. They put so much effort into it because they really want to try and then it comes around to like the second season, it just lets it down.
I hope I'm wrong.
Sorry, go on.
That's all right. I hope I'm wrong, but I think what it is the first season is usually whoever created the show bringing it to Netflix. So it's all their heart and passion and soul and creative ideas have gone into season 1. And then maybe, not all the time, but maybe sometimes, they're like, okay, I just want to do the one season and done. And Netflix are like, no, do more. People watch it, make more. And then it's sort of like you're scrambling for ideas for like a season 2 when you're like, I really wanted this to end at season 1.
It makes sense, yeah. I saw Space Force with Steve Carell. That was Steve Carell. Sorry, the second season, and again the first season I thought was really good, really funny, and quite clever. And this one, it just seemed a bit lazy. Some of the jokes, it was just kind of not really funny. It wasn't as long as there is some good moments in it. Like there's about banter with him and John Malkovich, which is really quite funny. John Malkovich is probably the best character in it for me as the sort of mad scientist type guy. Like he goes proper crazy and stuff like that, and he has these outbursts. It's like that's really funny. But again, I didn't think it was really touched the first season. The Titans season 3.
Oh yeah.
See, I haven't watched season 2 or 3. It's a show that I need to catch up on.
Again, season 1 was like brilliant. I was like, wow, this is like really sort of dark and it's crazy. And it was just like, I really enjoyed it. Second season was pretty good as well, but the third season I just thought, no, this is just going in a completely different direction now. It's like a group of kids running around just having a laugh. It's I don't know where that's gone.
Oh, Lee.
I don't know. I just thought for me, the Red Hood. I just thought his whole it's just I couldn't take him seriously. It's like
I think because I've seen that storyline in other media, I'm like, okay, you did what you could do with what you had. I've seen a stronger portrayal of that storyline. So
now no one can die either because they just literally go and visit the pool and then they can just come back to life. It's like what?
They kind of got.
There was a person.
You can come back from the dead. Just find a bridge and you can get back. It's fine.
Well, no, don't forget there is a person who ain't ever coming back. Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that was. The one series I did watch, which I thought was really good, and it's one of those where I didn't really know what it was about. It gave you a brief description. Was Archive 81, which I said to you guys in the group. I said that was decent.
That's what stopped me from watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right. Okay.
It's really well done. Just everything about it was just really, really good. Like a supernatural vibe. Great, characters were great, really well acted, and it's just a nice find. When you go on Netflix, you scroll through all this stuff, you think, I'll give that. I'm not too sure. I'll give that a go, and you're like, whoa, that was like,
okay. Have you guys seen Sense8?
No. Yeah.
No, I still haven't got around to seeing that actually. It's on my list.
Highly recommend that if you haven't. It's by the Wachowskis. It's really, really good series. Really enjoyed that. Again, supernatural. Kind of vibe to it, sort of like powers and all sorts. I won't give it too much away, but really good. All right, any more for February?
We saw Predator, didn't we?
We did watch Predator. We did watch Predator. We did a stream on Disney Plus.
I missed out now. What was that like?
Yeah,
right.
You know what? It was kind of disappointing because when you watch it, I thought that you'd be able to communicate through the app, like chat and like discuss it as you're watching it, but it's literally one person controlling it and you're watching it at the same time. So we went then on Facebook.
You can all control it. Like if I was going out the room, so I could pause it and it would pause the stream.
Pause it for everyone and stuff like that. But there's no chat function.
All you can do is emojis. All you can do is laugh when it's a funny moment or whatever. It kind of needs like a like a streaming, like a message, like an instant messenger going down.
Just on the side or something.
It comes up on the screen. That would be really good to have some sort of interaction.
Yeah.
Or like this.
Obviously, I think like
reactions at the top.
Yeah, because I think Sky Glass. Obviously, I don't have Sky Glass yet, but I may not get it. But I think they're talking about doing something sort of like we talk about, almost where it's like FaceTime. So you'd be able to do like a watch party type thing. The film is up on the main screen, but then down, like say, like a side panel, like what we are now. You've all got everyone's like camera views, and so you're actually.
Because that's it. You want to see everyone's reaction while you're watching.
That's why I thought it might be, because I've not obviously done a watch party thing on Disney Plus, so I was quite curious as to how it worked out for you guys.
Yeah, but no, that was disappointing. The movie is one of my favorite of all times. But from the watch party point of view, we were on that and then we're on Facebook or whatever, and it was just like, it's just a bit shit.
Yeah, because the thing is with that Facebook thing, isn't it? You could just, if you think like it's good to like say just message, but you really want to have this sort of interaction while watching the movie. Yeah. But when you went onto that Facebook thing, I thought, all right, this looks good. But then you were hearing feedback,
then you're hearing the sound from the other ones. So it's doubling up on the sound and everything. So it's not great. Right, any more?
Oh yeah. So I saw a film called See You Yesterday on Netflix.
Okay.
It's about time travel.
Oh, right.
So it kind of hinges on the kind of whole. It's tied into like police crimes and whatnot. So it's this
that is a dodge ass poster.
Yeah. Well, the protagonist is this girl, and this young black girl, and she and her friend managed to create a time travel backpack. And they're just testing it out, and then they managed to go back in time. I think they go back in time like a day. And so
I think I remember seeing a trailer for this.
Yeah,
it did sort of. I like time travel stuff, so it did kind of pique my interest.
It did. It had that going on about it, and then her brother gets killed by police, so she winds up like going back in time to prevent his murder, to prevent him being killed, and hijinks happen. Right. But it was actually a really sweet movie. And then I found out that it was a short movie. Originally, the director made it as a short, and then Netflix loved it and picked it up. And that's how it became a movie. Okay. So there's that. And I was like, oh, yeah, I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a really, really, really good. It was a really good movie.
If you're into time travel movies, if you haven't seen it, watch Project Almanac.
Oh yes, that's brilliant. That is amazing.
Great movie.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, Project Almanac. It was, I think it was produced by Michael Bay.
Yeah, that was a good few years ago. That one, wasn't it? Yeah. I remember seeing that.
2015 or something like that. But yeah, really good watch.
But if you do, I mean, like there was a nice cameo in See You Yesterday. Well, like if you want to hear it, I'll say it. If you don't, then I'll
I'm probably not going to watch it. So
all right, yeah, it's Michael J. Fox is in it.
What is it?
Yeah, he cameos as the girl.
Damn, I'm gonna have to watch it now. Jeez, man.
I was like, because literally just sitting there watching it, and then he just pops up, and I was like, holy shit, it's not even playing.
He's not playing a version of Marty, is he?
No. He's just their teacher. The fact that it's about time travel and he is their teacher, I was like, oh, that touched my heart. I was like, yeah, you warm.
Nice.
That.
In his life preserved.
So that was cool. Did we discuss Moonfall? Which I think
I did last month.
Yeah, so last month,
wow.
Here's two movies I watched that everyone else saw before me. Cop Shop and Wrath of Man.
Okay, so
I've not seen Cop Shop yet, but Wrath of Man. I saw.
Cop Shop is probably made my top 10 movies the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love that movie. It's available on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Very situational movie. Basically, guy goes into a police station, asked to be arrested because he needs to get away from something. Two people talking to each other opposite a cell. People trying to come in, trying to kill them. Lots of twists and turns. Absolutely love it. Totally recommend it. Wrath of Man. This is the Jason Statham one, right?
Yeah, that's the Jason Statham one.
Yeah. I think we talked about it a couple of months ago. So I think that was the first time because I was behind on it. I think I caught up on that one when you guys did.
Yeah. For me, it was okay. It was it's a Guy Ritchie movie, but it felt like Guy Ritchie's number 2 directed it. It didn't have much to it. Jason Statham kind of just walked through it. In a sense, from going from The Gentleman to that is very much like I'm just going to get paid to do this movie with Jason Statham. Maybe it's a bit of fun because obviously they're friends or whatever. But I wasn't impressed by that.
I enjoyed it as a movie. I didn't think it was bad in any way, but
it wasn't bad.
I do kind of feel like it was like, this is how you get funding for his next movie, which also has Jason Statham in it.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah,
I think it could have been a lot. It could have been a lot more. Like you said, had potential.
Yeah, but what else did I watch? Oh, we discussed Reacher and how brilliant that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what a series that is. That highly recommend Reacher if you guys haven't seen it. Again, Amazon. It's not your Tom Cruise type of movies. It's very much in line with the original character, how the writer wrote them in the books and stuff like that. And the writer makes a cameo in it right at the end.
Yeah, the very end.
Yeah, but no, really top show. Yeah, roll on season 2.
I didn't realise how many books there are.
Yeah, there was 17. Holy shit.
17 seasons, baby.
Yeah, that's his career then. Just carry on.
Yeah, so that was dope. And the final 3 things that I did watch: a TV show called In From the Cold on Netflix.
I'm just finishing that.
It's on my list. Yeah, I've been looking forward to getting.
All I will say is, I thoroughly enjoyed the show, but it totally changes what it is from like the first episode. All of the first episode is like you're there's this thing, and you're like, this is what it is. This is what it is.
I said exactly the same thing to Ken.
The last 5 or 10 minutes like happen, and I was like, what the fuck?
I said exactly the same thing to Kenan when we was in Five Guys. I said I got to the end of the thing, and I was like, yeah, okay, this is cool. Then all of a sudden I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But it was like, I stuck with it because that change, that things, right, where it switches what you think it is to what it is, that change, that could have been a moment I dropped out from it.
Me too. But I was thinking,
but I stuck with it. I think my payoff was I watched like 2 or 3 episodes back to back. So I was like, okay, I'm not cutting off. If I watched just 1 episode, then I'd have been like, maybe I'm not coming back to this.
Right.
But I stuck with it. I got to the ends, and I did like it. And the ending was something I didn't expect. And I was like, oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Okay, cool. I'll add that to the list.
Yeah. So there was that. And the final 2, one of them, technically, I should probably wait because I haven't seen the final episode. But for everything I have seen is so good that I want to bring it up now, is Bel-Air.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I adore this show. Absolutely adore it, right? It perfectly walks the balance between what the original show was and what it being its own thing.
So for listeners and stuff who are not sure what Bel-Air is, so this is the remake of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which is being produced by Will Smith, and basically it's more of a dramatic, darker, I say darker, but it's more of a dramatic take on a comedy series, basically.
Mm-hmm. And it was like, I did understand, before I watched it, I was definitely like, I understand people's apprehension, because reboots, remakes are a dime a dozen right now, and they literally just, some of them fall off a cliff. Some of them are okay, they do right by the original. Others, like, they don't fall off a cliff, they fucking dive off of it. And so there was a lot of people who were like, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, even though it was a comedy, it actually has a lot of dramatic moments. Like, it's got one moment in there that, that moment of the how come he don't want me? Yo, listen,
I still cry. I cry every time I see it.
You can't help but tear up at that moment. And I'm like, yeah, shit, man, shit. That touches me. But this show here, even when, people say that, it was dramatic enough for the time, but watching this show, I'm like, yeah, this was worthy of being created. It's worthy of existing. And not only that, the guy, I think it's Jabari Banks, who plays Will.
Mm-hmm.
He is, in every sense of the word, the character Will Smith in 2022.
Okay.
Like, obviously you can say his clothing, the way he dresses, that's costume department. So they're taking what he wore and updating it, but there's also the fact that, vintage clothes and things of that exist. But his mannerisms, the way the ability to be charming, to be funny, to hold dramatic moments, all of that, I'm like, you're the actor that Will Smith was when he was doing these things, and everybody thought he's going to be an astonishing actor.
Right. Okay. Cool.
He's really, really good.
High praise. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the last thing I watched, which I have finished, was Peacemaker.
Oh, yes.
I've not seen that yet.
Oh my God.
That's such a great show.
Yeah.
So good.
And you know what? It's not terrible, but one thing that happened that I wish hadn't happened is there is a moment in the final episode which has been blasted across all of social media. So I'd seen it several times. So when I saw it in the show, its impact wasn't as strong, but it's a great moment. But that show is brilliant. And fair warning because I know that they'll watch and listen to this. So my grooms people, you motherfuckers are doing that dance. You're doing the dance. Be warned.
No, it's one of the best things to come out of DC in a long time. It was absolutely fantastic. John Cena's phenomenal. It's got a great cast around it. They just did what the fuck they wanted to in that show, and it was just batshit crazy. So if you enjoyed Suicide Squad, you will love this. If you didn't enjoy Suicide Squad for whatever reason, the James Gunn one, then this probably won't be for you. But I haven't heard anyone say they haven't liked Peacemaker. It's next level. It is batshit crazy.
You know what I have to say about it as well. A lot of, and I'm sure I'm struggling to remember. Yeah, struggling to remember. But I'm pretty sure. I think, Ken, you may have asked a question some time ago about whether we want James Gunn having more property of DC.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was pretty much kind of against it, but I think I was against it in regards to him having access to certain characters.
Sure.
I hope I was against him having access to certain characters. But after seeing Peacemaker, I'm like, sir, you take what you want.
Yeah, imagine what you could do with a Harley Quinn series or something like that. Man. Do you know what I mean? It could be fantastic. And, he deals with misfits the best. Same with Guardians. That is his speciality. And he can just take characters who don't necessarily have this huge established lore. See you, buddy. Take care, Lee. And take these characters and just kind of rewrite them, make them their own. Do you know what I mean? And so yes, there's definitely stuff. Would you give him an Aquaman movie or a Superman movie? No, probably not. But there's definitely plenty of characters out there that he could have a lot of fun with.
See, yeah, because I'm thinking of there's a couple, like you said, he deals with misfits perfectly, and I'm thinking of people like so there is a comic book called Red Hood and the Outsiders, I believe it is. Outsiders. Yeah, and it's Red Hood, Arsenal, who was Green Arrow's sidekick, and I forget who the third person was, but it's like that comic book, and I'm like, those are misfits. You take the sidekicks. I'm like, give him all the sidekicks, and it's like, okay, this is not Teen Titans. You give him all the sidekicks, but give him the versions that didn't make it out well. Give him Jason Todd, and you give him Roy Harper, and you give him like all the sidekicks who royally screwed up. Give him them and say, all right, here's your redemption story. Here's how you become a family, and here's your redemption story, and voila. And he handles it so perfectly. All that was going through my head is, I'm like, there's got to be a season 2.
Yeah. And no, they've already greenlit it. Yeah. They've already greenlit it.
I need to see Michael Rooker. You didn't make it in the first one. I'm like, come back.
All right, cool. Alex, was there anything else you saw that you wanted to give a shout out?
The only thing that I know that definitely came out, I saw Freaky finally came out on Sky with
that was
body shot thing.
It's brilliant.
I'm not much of a horror guy, but I do enjoy like an 80s throwback to an old body shot movie. So I actually quite enjoyed this. and yeah, thought that was pretty fun.
I rated that when it I think that was last year, wasn't it? Yeah, but
I'm not sure when it came out cinema. Yeah, I missed it when it came out cinema because again, for whatever reason I can't remember what happened. But that sort of came out on Sky a few weeks ago or whatever, and I was just kind of like, all right, yeah, let's get around to watching this. And I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's the best I've seen Matthew Vaughn in a long time. Vince, from a comedy aspect. Sorry, Vince, not Matthew. Yeah, Vince Vaughn. From a comedy aspect, he was kind of back on fire. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. The only other things I don't know, obviously, like I say, I wasn't able to make, obviously, January's roundup, so some of you guys may have discussed this back then, but did anyone see Mass? Oh, that was a Sky Cinema original as well.
No.
Four characters, really... I mean, it's an intense... I mean, it's literally only like four people sitting around a table kind of talking, but excellent performances. That is one that I keep hearing a lot of people saying should have probably got some like Oscar nominations and awards.
Oh, really?
Stuff.
Okay.
Jason Isaacs plays one of the characters in it. The other actress, I think, is it Anne Dowd? I think she's in Handmaid's Tale. She plays is it Aunt Lydia, the character, the one that like looks after all the handmaids and stuff? Yeah, so she's in it, and the other two, I recognise the actors, but I don't remember their names.
Jason Isaacs, Martha Plimpton, Anne Dowd,
and there was another guy, I can't remember his name. I'd recognise his face, but I don't know his name on the top of my head. But yeah, they basically play like two couples, and they come to like a church to sort of have this sit down discussion, and it's kind of a bit vague at first, what they're here for, and it kind of gets sort of into the conversation before they kind of finally sort of, I mean, you get inklings of what they're talking about, but then when it's finally sort of, when they finally mention it. But yeah, no, really sort of good, short, not particularly long film. But yeah,
I do remember seeing a trailer for this now. So yeah,
really sort of powerful performances, and sort of tricky subject matter to discuss and whatnot. But yeah, no, I don't know. Again, it's one of those things where to say enjoy is not necessarily the right word, but given the subject matter. But it was really good film. Another one I caught, I think it was on. I'm pretty sure this one was Amazon. Was My Son with James McAvoy. I don't know if anyone caught that.
No.
Another one, so I think it's a remake of I think it's a French film. So I think it's actually the same director that directed the original, apparently. It wasn't until after I watched it, but I found out that apparently like James McAvoy didn't have a script, so he's like completely sort of in the dark as to.
I remember this now. Yeah, everybody else had a script except him.
Yeah, except him. So it's basically he sort of turns up. He's away, I think, in like Dubai or something, working. So he's like called back to Scotland, and because his son has basically gone missing.
Yeah.
And so it's him kind of sort of trying to investigate on the side. But yeah, the whole sort of premise of the thing is that all the other actors have the script and sort of have their lines, and he's basically just reacting to them. So I think they may have shot it in sequence. I can't remember. I did see a little snippet of him talking about it. But yeah, again,
yeah, I think they did. So to keep him almost like on a thread of a story, they shot it in sequence.
Sort of a story. I mean, it's a pretty kind of sort of your typical kind of. It's no sort of like it's not as action packed as like say Taken, but it's a very sort of similar sort of idea of okay, his son's gone missing. Obviously the police are investigating. He doesn't feel they're doing enough. He sort of like starts, following some clues and looking into it himself. But so I enjoyed the film, but then when I found out after watching it, it was like days or weeks later that I'd actually discovered that he didn't have his lines were completely sort of ad-libbed. I was like, oh wow, okay, that just sort of put a new sort of twist on it, and thought, okay, that's like a really interesting way to go about it. But yeah, it's just I think it's on Amazon Prime, so yeah, again, I pretty much enjoyed that if you like that sort of film. And yeah, the only things, obviously, I think you probably guys would have talked about it last time. The Tender Bar I caught up on finally. I also watched that Bruised on Netflix with Halle Berry. I think she directed as well.
She directed it. Yeah.
Again, I don't know if you guys talked about that last month. Again, yeah, sort of similar sort of. It's your typical sort of rags to riches kind of Rocky story comeback thing. But yeah, again, Halle Berry's always good. So
yeah, no, I hadn't got around to watching that, but I wanted to see it because she was making a big deal that it was her directorial debut and stuff like that. So okay,
but other than that, I don't think there's anything else.
Cool. You've definitely added a couple of movies to my list, so I appreciate that.
Yeah,
need to find more time.
Yeah, that's the trouble, man. It's just trying to find the time to watch all this stuff.
Exactly. Cool. Well, we'll wrap it up there. So thank you very much for joining me today, gentlemen. Hopefully we've given you some insights and some stuff to go away and watch. And let us know what you saw in February, any recommendations, series, TV shows, anything like that. And as always, if you're not already, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can find all our podcasts, episodes on any major platform. iTunes, Google, Amazon, Spotify, you name it, we are there. And I think that's about it. That wraps it up for episode 32. So thank you very much. And until next time, peace out.
Take care, guys.